What's something in your room right now that most people probably don't have in theirs? I have a 6 feet tall skeleton on a movable stand next to my bed. Doesn't it ever get creepy? It used to be at the foot of my bed and it freaked me out cause I saw it all night long, but I moved it to the head of my bed, which sounds way creepier, but I don't see it as often so it's less weird. It's just in the corner of my eye when I'm watching TV and stuff. I did turn his face away from me so he can't watch me sleep. He gets to look out the window. I figure if anyone tries to break in they're gonna see the skeleton in the window and get freaked out. I had a skull I used to keep on the desk at the foot of my bed and I moved him to the dresser near the head of my bed for the same reason. A skeleton looking out the window during a pandemic is ace though. I have a large storage container filled to the top with McDonald's toys. Before my grandfather passed away he would go and get a coffee every morning and would get me a toy from there when he got a coffee. I've kept them ever since. I can bring myself to part with them. I have full collections of the Monsters Incorporated toys, the Lilo and Stitch toys, Winnie the Pooh, Beanie Babies, etc. 90s and early 2000s toys. That man was a saint, and my hero. One of my favorite memories is the Christmas morning my mom gave me every Wizard of Oz MC Donald's toy. They were the ones that had eyes that would close when you laid them down. When our house got foreclosed in 2008, the bank had people come in and just throw everything away. They threw those out and I've never been able to find them again. My mom told me she spent an entire night driving around to every McDonald's in the area trying to find all the toys. An uncut currency sheet. It is $51 bills that were never cut when they came out of the US Mint. Edit: if you have an uncut currency sheet you can cut it up and use it, so it's not just a cool thing you can put in a frame. I have two $1 bills whose serial number is directly after each other. But yours sounds way cooler. If you found those out in the wild that's awesome, but it's pretty common to get sequential bills if you're getting them from a bank, especially the larger ones. How much is that worth? $50 if you're good with the scissors. A piece of the Berlin Wall. Edit: I bought it from the official Berlin Wall Museum in the heart of Berlin, verified and all. I have a chunk on my dresser. I got for my mom when we visited Germany last summer because she told me stories of when she lived there. Touching the wall was a quick way to get shot. I wanted her to be able to touch the wall and not get shot, so I brought some wool home for her. I too bought some genuine wool when in Berlin, mostly for the novelty and knowing full well it's probably a overpriced piece of concrete not even connected with the wall. But what a great trip, and it was well worth the couple of euro. A collection of human teeth stuck on a candle. Mind explaining why you have such a relic? I have 5 siblings and I found their baby teeth collections and stuck them on a candle. They got older and had their molars removed. I had a big brain moment and hammered them onto the candle. I'm the youngest, so when I have mine removed, I'll add them to the candle. But why? Just why? I've probably got quite a few. I have a few rather large lumps of obsidian, an alligator's head, some nearly 100-year-old books too. 2 music boxes made to look like San Francisco cable cars. Also got an Albert Einstein bobblehead, like the ones from Night at the Museum too. You are also required to join the cult with the Raven Skull and Goat Skull people. I want to go to there. Haha, I've got tons of other stuff too, all collected while traveling. An unopened box of Windows 95. How have you been able to resist for this long? I find the box design visually pleasing. I also love the novelty of having an unused physical version of an outdated software. I still have a box W95 on my shelf. It is open though. It always made me laugh that it is an upgrade to Windows, and you have to point it at a qualifying X to continue installation, but you could just point it to the files on its own CD. I also have boxed versions of NT4 Server, W2000 Advanced Server, Office Pro 97, and Visual Studio 6.0. I have no idea why I still have them, lol. A dictionary from 1899. Nice. I have one from 1915, so still a century old but not nearly as impressive. Mine's French though, so I actually use it sometimes when I come across a French word I don't know. I like it better than Google Translate lol. A dictionary from 1899. Nice. I have one from 1915, so still a century old but not nearly as impressive. Mine's French though, so I actually use it sometimes when I come across a French word I don't know. I like it better than Google Translate lol. It's funny to me how different perceptions of old books can be. When you work with them all the time, 1899 doesn't seem very old either. I have an entire shelf of older books than that. It's not as hard as you might think to find 19th century books in decent condition, but I work with medieval manuscripts and early modern printed books that blow them out of the water. I'm sure someone who works on ancient inscriptions feels the same about my materials. Haha, very true. My mum's family have a waterfront holiday place and I grew up going there a lot as a child. I remember my sense of wonderment when I realized that some of the books they kept there were more than a century old, so older than me or my grandparents. That was big to me lol. Also, the books there are sorted by who purchased them, so you have a complete Isaac Asimov series next to a watchmaker's handbook, next to a 120-year-old collection of poetry, all just getting spines damaged by silverfish and salty air. Or in the main room you have Alexander McCall Smith beside some 70-year-old Reader's Digest books and the definitive list of all Scrabble words. It's an interesting place for books, you're never bored. I did appropriate the Presbyterian cookery book published in 1912 though, fewer silverfish here and a better kitchen to experiment with. An antique ship anchor from the year 1597. Dredged up from the River Maas. Edit, holy crap, this blew up. It's not a huge anchor from a full-sized man of war or something. Those were the size of a house. I think this was from a fishing vessel or a small trade vessel for river trade here in the Netherlands. Not found by me unfortunately, but I bought it from the man who did. Found in the 70s. The date it was made is on the anchor. And the mark on it is a kind of house mark. These marks were used by rich but not noble families, no cost of arms, to mark stuff that was theirs. Around 60 kilograms, but it's a guess. Height, 124 cm. Width, 81 cm. A school desk from the early 20th century. I have one of these I bought second-hand for $5, the metal-framed, wood-seated kind with the chair attached. Although ours is probably from around 1960-ish. My kid has slowly decorated it with lots of paint, markers, and stickers, and it looks like a hippie desk now. I had one that I used as an end table. It had a hole for an inkwell and everything. I miss it. Frown. I had to unexpectedly move years ago, and the best idea at the time was just to get rid of most of my furniture. I have one. My mother used to clean the office/home of Dr. Flood, dentist, in New Hope, Pennsylvania. He lived in the center of town in a large colonial home located on the Delaware River. When Mom cleaned, 1960s, I played school with that desk. Eventually it was given to me by the Floral family. I'm now 60 years old, the desk is in my living room.